Let me ask you about QAnon. It is this theory that Democrats are a satanic pedophile ring and that you are the savior of that. Now, can you just once and for all state that that is completely not true and that disavow QAnon in its entirety?
I know nothing about QAnon.
I just told you.
I know very little. You told me, but what you tell me doesn't necessarily make it fact. I hate to say that. I know nothing about it.
In our previous episode, we spoke of the discovery of mirror neurons and how they connect people. It telegraphs the motivations, intentions, and emotions from a person about an issue they are currently experiencing. These neurons also have an empathy response, resulting in triggering others to feel and react similarly. We also spoke about a group process in which, left to run by itself, there will evolve group leaders, enablers, complainers, indifference, and many other human qualities. A group is a community. Let us look now at how a leader's personality influences and magnifies the dynamics of the group. Leaders can exist across a broad bandwidth of personalities ranging from psychopathic to compassionate. Compassionate leaders bring attention or awareness to recognizing that someone is experiencing suffering. They feel emotionally moved by that suffering and wish there to be relief from that anguish. Compassion also includes a readiness to take action to reduce that distress. In our previous series on the brain's role in spirituality, we touched on measurable changes that functional MRIs observe when subjects experience compassion, forgiveness, and other positive qualities. On the other hand, a psychopathic leader displays a lack of empathy and remorse. They are shallow, manipulative, callous, and have a superficial emotional tone.
I would like to begin by addressing the heinous attack on the United States Capitol. Like all Americans, I am outraged by the violence, lawlessness, and mayhem.
In 2013, in the journal Frontiers in Human Neuroscience was an article titled "A Neurological Basis for the Lack of Empathy in Psychopaths." Neuroscientists use functional magnetic resonance imaging, or fMRIs, on the brains of 121 inmates of a medium security prison in the USA. Participants were assessed with a widely used diagnostic tool to identify their degree of psychopathic tendencies. These ranged from mild, moderate, to severe psychopaths. The subjects were given 3 scenarios. 1, they could imagine a situation in which they experienced a physically painful condition to themselves. A second, in which this experience was happening to another person. A third was a control group in which there was an act that did not involve pain. These scientists observed that when individuals with psychopathy imagined others in pain, brain areas necessary for feeling empathy and concern for others failed to activate. But the response also was unable to connect to other essential regions of their brain involved in emotional processing and decision making. In other words, they could not connect to how others were suffering or feel compassion or desire to help them in any way. Moreover, psychopaths showed an increased response in an area known to be involved in pleasure when imagining others in pain. This finding may suggest that individuals with high scores on psychopathy actually enjoyed imagining pain inflicted on others and did not honestly care for these people. One can only imagine the impact that a psychopathic leader has on a group or community. We presented a group that did not know anything about one another. The group would rearrange itself to play specific roles. We also understand that a leader of high status, wealth, or accomplishment will automatically have the group defer to them more than a neutral member in a social hierarchy. This hierarchy allows a leader with a social status to have even more control in a group or culture. Suppose we look at other members of the group. There are those who either enable or respond to the leader's agenda. An enabler is someone whose own actions allow that leader to continue self-destructive behavioral patterns. They may do this by vocal support or by their silence. The responder is someone who acts in response to some message presented to them. There has to be some buy-in or compatibility with the agenda of the leader. Those who conflict with the leader's message do not follow or engage in the leader's plan. If a leader incites racism, the responders and enablers must have some compatibility with that belief. These relate to what is called core beliefs. A core belief is our most deeply held assumptions about ourselves, the world, and others. Core beliefs are firmly embedded in our thinking, and they significantly shape our reality and behaviors. If we have a firmly embedded conviction that one race or sex is superior, we will automatically connect with that message. In situations where an enabler or supporter conforms with an antagonistic position to their group, the term internalized oppression explains this. In social justice, internalized oppression is a concept in which an oppressed group uses the oppressing group's methods against itself. It occurs when one group perceives an inequality of value relative to another group and desires to be like the more highly valued group. It commonly exists among immigrants and their descendants. If the host community devalues a foreigner's ethnic origin, native language, or culture, an immigrant may feel inferior. This position can lead to self-hatred, which manifests itself in exaggerated conformity to dominant norms. The same holds for a race or sexual conformities. As the series continues, we will focus on the enabler's power to manipulate the leader and continue with those who oppose the leader. It will be followed by how conspiracy theories become powerful and how we can become more accountable to our society at large.